Hello, it's Nick here from the Resident Evil podcast. By now, you've probably watched a bit of the Resident Evil 8 showcase that was streamed the other day, and you've probably all got loads of opinions going on about what we've revealed from Capcom. You're pleased to know, as part of the next podcast, which we're recording next week, we're going to be having a lengthy sub-discussion all about the showcase, so covering everything from Village to Reverse, as well as possibly a bit of Infinite Darkness as well, which is there. So you've got all that to come, and that should be out in a couple of weeks or so once we've recorded it. But I thought I'd take the opportunity to give you my preliminary thoughts on Village, where I want to see it go, and what I'm excited about. So anyone that's listened to me on the Resident Evil podcast will know I'm a big fan of Resident Evil 7. I enjoyed the soft reboot, as I felt it was very much needed after Resident Evil 6. But one of the criticisms, which I completely agree with to an extent, is that 7 was a bit disjointed from the rest of the series. It was a soft reboot after all. We had completely new characters, bar Chris, and we had a new viral agent in the form of the mold. So I love the game, and I liked the progression it made, but I think there's always been that need for 7 to kind of be brought back into the franchise a bit like what 4 was when it first came out. It felt a bit on its own, and 5 especially really brought Resident Evil 4 into the equation. So I've always had this hope that Village is going to do the same as the 8th main game in the series. And I mean, there's two angles to look at this. The game looks absolutely stunning, and we watched Stars Tyrant from the podcast play on the Maiden demo, and I would recommend anyone checking that out on his YouTube page. I will put a link in the description below, just so you can see how wonderfully atmospheric it looks, and from a graphical point of view, and the atmosphere is absolutely on point for the entire demo, and I simply cannot wait to play it on PlayStation 4. Yes. Thank you, Capcom. That saved me £450, so that's good stuff. So we're looking forward to that. May the 7th is the release. Am I concerned though? Yes, I am. There's a few elements here. We're very much treading into the supernatural, I feel. I mean, the angles of you've got the vampires and the Van Helsing and werewolves, intriguing, but we do need a scientific element, and Mold does give a bit of creative freedom, should we say, to Capcom to do what they like. But at the same time, we do need a bit of closure in terms of what Mold can and cannot do. And I'm slightly concerned that we are treading very much into supernatural territory, Silent Hill-esque. You know, we've got the Bat Lady, for example, one of the daughters of the head of the house. She can seemingly transform from flying bats into a humanoid character that will then want to bite you. It's getting far-fetched, but we'll see. I reserve judgment. So I do have a concern about that. It also has that element of Resident Evil 4 about it, doesn't it? We've got the same wonderful attaché case inventory system, which I love, absolutely love. And we've got the Duke, a kind of new merchant. And finally, someone I could probably successfully cosplay, but there we go. That suggests, though, that with upgradable guns, it's going to be very action-orientated, action-packed with, lots of, weapons and monsters coming at you. And whilst I don't mind that to an extent, I hope it doesn't overwhelm the title, because what Resident Evil 7 did well was really brought back the survival horrorness to the equation. We had such an intense and creepy atmosphere in the plantation, and absolutely it's replicated in the castle from what we've seen in the Maiden demo. But at the same time, I am a bit concerned that we're going to go a bit too action orientated, and I know Capcom have said it is more action orientated, so I'm preparing myself for it. It's whether they get that right balance, and that's my only concern at the moment. Other than that, in terms of the lore, Wow. I mean, we raised a theory on the demo that perhaps this demo takes place in the 50s, because the way the player is playing and the files that you find suggest it's actually that person that has written these notes. And that lends itself to the idea that this is pre-Umbrella Foundation, which was in the 60s. But we've got all this Umbrella iconography all around, and even on the pre-order map that you can get with the collector's edition, there's a nice umbrella symbol right at the top of it. But this is pre-Umbrella in theory. So my own theory, perhaps we're looking at the foundations and the origins of the rival company, HCF, whether that's the formal name, it would be quite ironic if the actual rival company uses pretty much the same logo, and perhaps with that connection then back to 7 with HCF, it's that then works into Blue Umbrella and that storyline going forward. We had hoped that Village would be the point in which the Blue Umbrella connections and HCF all kind of come together in that storyline, pushing it forward. Perhaps we have to wait till 9 if that's going to happen as a thing. Perhaps this is the origins of the Blue Umbrella, and then it's the takedown of Blue Umbrella, because although yes, they're goodies in 7, they're secretly baddies if you've had the misfortune of playing Umbrella Corps. But there we go. So there's lots to look forward to, and I'm really pleased that our Discord is very much alive with lots of theories flying around, which is great to see. I've been very much spoiler free. You know, with all our things that we do on the podcast, we do not promote any of these illegally obtained leaks. So it's good to have lots of theories and suggestions flying around at the moment, and I can't wait to get this demo, which is coming on PlayStation 4, although probably a slightly tweaked version of it. So keep your eyes out. We'll have a podcast discussion on it very shortly. But all things, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon.